Hi there.
Hi.
How's it
Sorry
going?
about that.
It's, it's okay.
I've been telling myself that it was 4 o'clock probably all week now, so I didn't even bother to double check.
Uh-oh.
No worries. Yeah, so how are you doing?
Really good, for the most part. Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Like I said, the relief in my back is make my life a lot less miserable. So,
Good.
um, just being able to function more without like being in so much, I guess, pain. Like I just don't think about it as pain because it's been going on for so long. Um, and the question in your email about visuals, my vision is changing, but I'm not seeing anything dramatic yet.
Yeah.
I guess a good way of saying it would be the air looks more liquid. Lots of sparkles or little flashes of color, but not too much more dramatic than that right now.
Well, that's pretty amazing in my book. Wow.
I feel like I should be able to see whatever I want, but not being able to is a little frustrating. And
Yeah.
I guess because I've had moments where I have seen things deep enough and been able to shift through layers of what I was looking at that I know that it's possible.
Yeah.
It's just how can I do that without using psychedelics to aid that vision, you know?
Yeah.
So those practices haven't gotten me anywhere because I've been so frustrated, and every time I try to do it, my energy was jamming up on all these spots on my body that were bothering me. So I've done little bits of practice like with chakra work and like moving my energy and stuff, and it's much more visual mentally. A couple points where I was like, oh wow, I can see like very clearly right now all of these points of light like flowing through my body parts. Which is where I was ended up in that email I said about my solar plexus, and how that didn't look right. But whatever I was pulling out of there, I was just pulling, but I don't know what to do with it. I can't really perceive it that deep to really have that an understanding of what it is or what to do about it.
Yeah. Alright, so like, what would you like to address today?
Probably the abdominal issues.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like every issue that we've addressed and got relief from has all been doing the same thing to me ultimately, and I still feel that, but every time I like try to follow it and where it's coming from, it always seems down into my abdomen.
Yeah.
So that's probably the first thing I'd want to try to do, because the leaps and bounds of physical freedom have been really amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, would you like to tell us some more? Like, like we know, like it's painful. Like, do you have like surgeries there? You've been shot and everything. Anything else?
Yeah. Actually, there's a lot of injuries there. So from here to here, I've actually been split open. So everything had been taken out because of the gunshots here and here.
Uh-huh.
But I can get the muscle. I mean, I can feel my muscle again and use my muscle. So I know it's not just waiting for it to work again. It's been years now. But it still feels like there's these odd lumps there. And when I'm trying to let my energy come down, that's where it stops. And it starts feeling like it's going in weird places and it doesn't want to just flow like it should.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how else to really describe it. I've just been associating it with all the other stuff, so it's just felt like gut problems or something, but like it's where my muscles should be. So
Yeah. Okay. Do you have enough to?
Yeah.
You kind of tuned into it?
Sure.
No.
Anything else you want to say or mention?
No. Go for it.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Start. That. That big time. That. That.
Okay, so just a little update. So far it seems that like if we were to talk about chakras where everything is solid, the stomach area, like the solar plexus, and like the top of the root chakra is like blasted. So it's like if we would have like solid thing, like the solar plexus is completely blasted, and it's like there are like these little knots, like little places where the energy does travel. So it's not the full thing, but like a little bit here, there. It's like all over the stomach, but never the solid place. And like you're saying, like those like seems like there's like a air package or like air stuck, like literally they just like sort of like empty hole, and the energy like travels like from here and goes like a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, but never fully, and it's all around, all around, but never straight and stuff. And same with like the top of the root chakra as well. It's like also a little bit blasted. So I can sound like sort of either repairing or doing some work, or just keep on looking for something else. That's like is there anything deeper behind that?
Okay. I'm not sure if I could like help narrow down anything into that. But I mean, you're describing exactly that. And now these moments that I have in between where I do have my like feeling very high vibe, like my hair standing up and I'm like all flushed with goosebumps and stuff, I can control it, my energy, however I want then. And it's like it ignores those issues.
Yeah.
But I've tried to like focus in on it. I've like done everything that I can do with it. I really just besides getting to the assumption that because of the injuries, I just need to work my lower body a lot again, like work out. I don't know what to do, or I don't have anything.
Yeah, I say, let's go ahead and do a little reconstructive work. That's the same thing I picked up. I didn't want to say anything, but yeah, that's the first thing I saw too. It's just like your solar plexus chakra is just splattered kind of all over in little bits and pieces down there, and so when the energy tries to connect, it just goes all over the place, trying to make it work. So yeah, a little reconstructive work there, and patch it up, or put in a new one, or reverse time. I don't know how you do that shit, but do that thing.
In some ways.
And then we'll see how that works, and then we'll go and do the root chakra as well, and get the flows going. And then we'll look deeper, related stuff, or yeah.
In some ways, it might have been useful because I can not feel the same blockages in my neck and back that I've had. But the fact that I guess this is keeping my energy from grounding properly, and I start feeling bloated with energy, and it's I guess maybe making it a lot easier to identify a lot of the stuff we've been looking into.
Yeah. All right.
Start. That.
Okay. Yeah, so I just like finished like working on the solar plexus area, basically removing all those like empty areas and sort of reconstructing everything, making sure it all works. There's also where those like agreements or decisions like letting it go and giving up. So I go through those, like make sure like it's not anywhere like impacting you in any way. and next area will be like the top of the like root chakra. Make sure like that like we can restore it too.
Okay.
Yeah. How are you doing?
It's different. I can feel this more than the other kind of work that you were doing. Maybe it's just because I like am tuning into the chi a lot. But I'm just trying to like move, almost getting in my head like, am I like resisting something while she's doing this? Like, so just consistently trying to like just stay in like a balanced state. So anything that wants to move or shift because my hips are moving, and my hip is starting to hurt actually while we're doing it, which I can't tell what's going on, so I'm just riding it.
Okay, yeah, let's ride through it and see what happens.
Yeah.
Also, if your body wants to move around, just let it. You know, we get what you're doing, and it's okay. And yeah, just maybe your body, the intelligence in the body is doing what it can, working with you while she's doing this stuff. So then we'll just see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Start. That big time. Mm-hmm. That. That. You know, of course, you know that right above the root chakra is the sex chakra, right between the root chakra and the solar plexus chakra. So take a look at that too and work on that. Mm-hmm. That. Mm-hmm. That. That. Mm-hmm. That. That. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so sort of putting all the chakras together, and it seemed like, very interestingly, at least the way I perceive it, seems like all those bodies we have, like the physical, astral, etherical, energy bodies and stuff, they're like connected to our chakras. So if you blast the chakra somehow, you blast the body, and like it doesn't go anywhere. Like it's in the vessel, but like it's different parts, and it's like a little like a mess right there, like like part here, part here, part here of one like energetic body, and they're like scrambled all around, and like I was putting them back together, and like they're like, conscious and fully alive. So like we'll see what happens.
Okay. Good. Okay.
I'm like feeling differences in my whole body, like corrections in my neck, like interesting.
How's your hip doing?
Had some spots to try and crack now after doing some of this.
Yeah. Okay, so.
Yeah, so now that like I think I've worked enough on chakras and energies and stuff, I think the next step I could go is through some past lives or any similar incidents where that impact causes like sort of like same reaction and everything.
Same trauma to the body and
Yeah.
the other etheric bodies and all astral bodies and stuff. Yeah, it's
So
good.
that'd be anything connected and like work on that. Another thing, you in the email you've mentioned those like 4 purplish beings with robes and stuff.
Yeah.
Have they done anything to you, or like like anything that stands out?
Nothing. I haven't had anything that's really reminded me of that since it happened.
Yeah.
But I've thought back to it a lot. Like, what the fuck was that? And like, I've had varying degrees of thought on it, so I'm not really sure. I've gone from it was like an initiation to like help me mess with energy because I was trying to at the time.
Yeah.
To I'm being fucked with by things, and they just made me think that's what they were doing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was so disconnected from me being able to look back at it that it's just weird. It's like it didn't make any dramatic, noticeable impact to me. So what did it do?
Yeah. You want to look into that?
Sure.
Uh-huh.
Like both, like the beings like with those robes, see if like there's any connections, or the good guys helping you out, or like they're actually messing with you, and also go through your past lives, see if there's like any similar impacts with like causing similar trauma and stuff.
Yeah. And specifically, what did they do?
Yeah.
Exactly. What was it they did?
Yeah.
If you're not good, what'd you do? If you're not bad, what'd you do?
Yeah.
Kind of like that. Okay, but yeah, whatever goes first is your choice.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Start. That. Very big. That. Big time. Very good.
Okay. Yeah. I was talking to these beings, and basically they're the good guys. It's like the race is called like strummers. It's like strumming, but strummers, like something like it. They were wearing robes because their real looks are kind of like weird. It's like the best I can explain is the mix between the orc and the deer. It's like weird. But they have like
I can
sort of
picture it.
orc face, and then it goes into like bigger head with like sort of kind of antlers and like like no for just like skin and stuff, but like they're kind of weird, and it's like they have this alien qigong where they're like working purely through energy, and they can like they're really like the masters of energy, like making it flow purely. And this is like their thing. Like this is like whenever they see beings, doesn't matter where they are, who they are, wherever the energy is blocked, it's like, oh, that's their thing. We're gonna help him. And they're like, like it doesn't matter who it is. Like it's just their thing. They like helping people to feel their like energy fully. And so they come and help you. But at the time when they were like working on you, it's like you are right here, and there's this shielding or like a cloak like around you. It's like by those like reptilians and other beings that are messing with you. So it's like they have to pierce the shielding to help you out, and like it's like a lot of work, and they get attacked by other beings, so they got pushed away. So they're trying to help. They have to work around other shieldings and different things. So they're trying, but they're not actually succeeding. And like like few times like, oh fuck, we can't do anything. So they sort of gave up. But like I just found those beings, and they were like just curious and interested in helping you, but like no real like relations by stars or any past lives or anything. They're just like someone who's willing to help. So they're okay, I guess.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, so I guess like right now I'll go jump into the past life, see like, if I can find anything similar by traumatic incidents and get rid of them. And if you have any ideas, feel free to share.
No.
Not really. Like I'm like one track on the last thought there. I'm not sure now when it comes to looking into past life stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's a good way. Look for the similar damage incidents earlier, similar, the most basic one of that specific kind of damage to the body and the chakras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Start. Yeah. 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 Mm-hmm. Yeah. That big time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Big time. Real big. Yeah. What's that?
I'm basically looking at two cases, like they have to do with the past lives agreements and other incidents. So it seems like in one of the past lives you were like traveling from like another like different dimensions and different realities, and you end up in a realm where hey, like looks like a nice place, but every being like sees you as like too powerful, and they're like, hey, we're not gonna play with you. You're too good. You're a cheater. You're gonna win anyway. So they're like not interested, and you decide like, hey, it's gonna be fun. I'm just gonna minimize myself and make sure like I can fit them and adjust. So basically you have to take away your own abilities and powers and sort of be like everyone else, sort of adjusting to fit in the system. And by that sort of like it's the energy goes through the stomach, like like it's as if like taking out your own energy and stuff and shrinking a little bit, like and there's that thing again where like you start going with, like that way. So like there's one incident, and the second incident seems like in one realm, beings like they don't have understanding, and they don't even want to understand. They just see you as like too powerful godlike being, and they're like having that like awe where they're like admiring you, but they have fear, and they're not willing to risk. So they're like, oh, we're gonna capture him, take away his abilities, and then he can hang out here. So it's as if like you're like a giant being that they capture, and they're all end up like just trying to like take out your energy again from the stomach, and you don't want to hurt them. Like like you're a good being. You're like, okay, well, just like I don't want to hurt you. Like you one shoving with the hand, like 10,000 of them go away. So basically, you're not doing that. But then again, they start taking you apart, and that's another instance of these. So I was going through these instances of what's going on, and, and then I'll be undoing all these.
Okay, good, yeah.
Makes me want to think back to Gulliver's Travels with all the little people trying to tie him down.
Yeah, me too. I was thinking the same thing. Interesting. Okay, yeah, keep up the good work.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is interesting one. I'm seeing like this life where you're more like you have a physical form, like closer to the Minotaur, or like sort of like this animalish looking being, and you have like a mission, like like hunt down all these demonic, like like demonic beings, reptilians, any kind of like beings that are like have a consciousness, and they're doing something bad to other like humanity or some other places. And so your mission is to be undetected, or like sort of be trusted, so that when you're around them, there's a way to shove your hand and pierce them through the stomach and capture their consciousness like a little ball, and you like capture it. So they have no way of escaping it. Otherwise, like if you are doing it differently, they become more aware and the consciousness can escape. So if you do it like that specific way, you can capture the consciousness. And basically, the idea is that the more of them you can collect, like those specific consciousness went bad, eventually they're going to be reprogrammed, sort of like DNA changing, or like sort of modification, where they're going to become better beings and start playing for the good side to create some balance in the multiverse. And basically, it's all a deception that eventually you're gonna have an army of bad beings, that they're gonna be changed, that's the story told to you, when eventually you gather up like millions of them, and then you receive the same fate, and they literally start sort of wiping all of your memories, and all the abilities that you have, they start installing into those consciousness. So now they receive your abilities, and you're the only one who suffers and like loses all memory, loses all abilities, and is dropped out somewhere like without like any awareness, and you're like, oh, who am I? What am I doing? What's there? So like completely losing everything. So that sort of incident, like it seems like pretty interesting, because it goes through the same ability, but also like a big loss. So I think like that's where I can start like undoing everything and sort of get back those parts to you.
Okay, let me let me give this back to you, see if I got it right.
Okay.
Okay. The reason a person in this life would have a certain kind of condition is big picture theoretically is because they feel like they deserve it, or they want balance for having done, we do bad things to other people, they do bad things to us, back and forth like that. Kind of generally that explains one reason why some people get a really bad deal in this life. Okay. It's kind of like karma, but it's more like cause and effect, and like that. But anyway, with good intentions, you are going to help the light side. So you're going to find these beings that are kind of like dark side, kind of.
Yeah.
And the way to go at them isn't to come at them like this, but to kind of sneak in with a kind of an energy grab and kind of go in through their gut or their core, solar plexus, all this area down here. Kind of go, and then sneak up that way and grab the consciousness and pull it out.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's going to hurt them, and they're going to be going like that. Okay. All right. But that's okay. It's good it's for a good cause, right? But this was the mission you're on, and you were sold this mission. Hey, good cause. We need you. We need your great abilities. Do this with us, and we will reward you somehow. Probably, I didn't get that part, but okay. So you do all this, and you grab thousands of beings this way.
Yeah.
Okay. Individual 1, 2, 3, like just a lot. Okay, for a good cause. It's okay. All right. So you do this, and then you find out you're being deceived and fucked over. Because these beings that you're supposed to be turning to the light side, they're not going to turn them to the light side. They're just going to use them a different way. And you too. And so you got your just reward. You got it back. Here's back at you, buddy, for having done the bad thing. And they can play it that way because of karmic law or whatever bullshit. And so now they not only got all of them, but they got him too. And so that would be like a basic on the whole chain of events of this, getting it in the gut and getting your guts torn out, or, your consciousness fucked around with all. Kind of, am I gonna?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Kind of sounds like how our government and shit works.
Yeah, it sounds about right, doesn't it? That's how it works. Yeah. Okay, so now you're gonna go back and what?
Just undo it. Like, make sure, whatever was taken away from you, I'm gonna get it back. I'm gonna sort of undo the instance where you don't feel the pain and that stuff doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure, the bad guys who were supposed to, become the light side, I will make it light side.
Yeah.
Reprogramming and all.
Okay, and maybe you could do are you familiar with Ho'oponopono?
Heard of it? I haven't tried it.
It's a technique where everything's about being fully responsible, and it's always your fault. It's always my fault. And I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you for whatever the hell. And I love you. Bye now. That's it in a nutshell. So maybe you could do a Ho'opono. Thank you. I'm sorry on his behalf. I'm sorry I ripped your guts out. Sorry I fucked you over. Sorry. Would that be okay if she was your front man?
Yeah, maybe in my private time I'll do it myself.
Oh, okay, yeah, well, sure. You can.
Just for the hell of it.
Yeah, okay, all right.
All right.
Tell him that too. He's going to say it himself when he gets some time. Okay. Yeah, big time, yeah, that's it. Mm-hmm. Very good. Yeah, big time. time. Real big. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just like a quick break. Pardon my bad English. Is there like a saying like something to the core or to the bone?
Yeah, yeah, something.
Bad to the bone.
Huh? Yeah,
It's bad to
bad to
the
the
bone.
bone.
Yeah.
So like it's very similar. Like I'm looking at that like past life where like it's the shoving your hand through stomach to get the consciousness. It seems like everything is connected to the stomach because that is your core like in that life, and it seems like all the personality types and everything about the being is connected to the core instead of the bone. So it's like Hana's good, like all these like things to the core, and once that is taken away, it's as if everything else that's connected to the consciousness loses that part. Whether it's your personality, your health, your beingness, anything that it is like sort of torn apart. So it's like like all those little empty places we saw in your stomach. It's as if like whatever is supposed to be there was ripped off, and that's something that I'm noticing over there, and like I can sort of get it back intact.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm good to go.
Okay, go for it. Yeah, there's another saying, rotten to the core or good to the core, that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. That. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That. Mm-hmm. That. Mm-hmm. Very big. Very good.
All right. Yeah, I was like undoing everything. Like, there's a lot of these agreements where you have to be like tough to the core, or like be the shield for others, and like the whole damage goes through like stomach area. So it's like removing agreements and getting those parts of you back, like all kinds of personalities, the consciousness, all different things. Back to you. Did the whole Ho'oponopono with all the beings, like sort of speaking to them like simultaneously, and it seemed like another thing that happened is like there is no pain there, like in the fifth dimension, but it seems like the impact, all the beings can feel it. So like the whole energy that has gone through them, all the beings sort of had agreement with the one that gave you the mission. So you were the one to receive everyone's impact when it's done on you. So they're like, oh, okay, whatever. But, as you do it, like, you were gonna receive the whole damage to yourself. So, like, I undid that part. And another thing I found out is, like, it's like a little dot, like a pixel, are out, like, in your energy sphere. So it's basically, like, 4 of them around your stomach. Like, one is, like, right in front, the other one is, like, in the back, and then around the sides. And it seems like if you're trying to get out of body or do astral projection and you're laying in bed or something, you can move your hands, your legs, different things, but stomach area is like the thing like sort of being stuck. And it's just like those little pixels, like these little implants, they're constantly beaming you from 4 sides, and they're sort of disrupting the vibrations, and not like letting you leave. Like it's as if like that part like stuck to the body and cannot get out. So you can like sort of move around, but the stomach area is like always hard as rock and just cannot move. So I go through that as well. So we'll see what happens.
Stuck in the core kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of like.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. In a hard to explain way. Just a lot of times try to quiet mind, laying down, mind awake, body asleep stuff. I'm always feel like my arms and legs just go away, like weightless.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like can't let go of like the sensation with my breath down in my core.
Yeah. And were you in the Marine Corps?
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if there's any subliminal relationships there. It's curious.
Yeah. So, anything else you want me to check? Or look into?
Let's see. Along those lines. Yeah, let's just see if there's a relationship between. Did you ever feel like? I'm just guessing. I'm just looking at something. Do you ever feel like in the Marine Corps you were stuck in the Corps?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, let's take a look at that relationship. This whole thing, how it might fit and affect feeling stuck in the Corps. Like scan his time in the Marine Corps.
Mm-hmm.
And see if you see any of these connections and dots and things that being, you know.
And just for more clarification, in Lithuania we don't have Marines or anything, so could you clarify what Marine Corps is?
Yeah, the Marine Corps is like the Army.
Yeah.
It's the Army. It's kind of like a corporation is a group.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't call it the Marine Corporation or anything like that, but it's kind of the same essence of the meaning, but it's called Corps. They drop the P, and it's the Marines.
All right.
I think it's got something to do with being a Department of the Navy.
Yeah. The Department of the Navy, but yeah, it's a branch of the military services, and he was in the Marines. It's the toughest, fiercest fighters in our military.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. That big time, yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, just a quick question. Have you ever had to give any kind of oath, agreement, or like some sort of like promise to that group?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just in joining the
Yeah, because I'm seeing like it's as if like I'm seeing connections with like other lives where you sort of get accepted not just like by this physical body, but your consciousness has to serve to certain like groups in other like planes simultaneously, and I'm just looking if there's anything there. So just have to ask.
Like serve the Corps or service in the Corps or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can look through those as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the basic agreements when you join up and sign up to be in one service or the other.
The hand on the Bible to defend your country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Yeah. Which I honestly think, like, if I was following that oath, I'd be killing a lot of people running this country.
Yeah.
Not really following that one.
Yeah. Big.
Okay. So, a little report and then I can work on doing things. But it seems like there is that agreement, like, you make with the Marines. And it also has to do with, I think, like space marines or other parties out there. So basically, it's not just this body that makes the agreement, but your consciousness. And it's as if they get the allowance to use you, and now the consciousness is like a player, and other bodies out there are like a little avatar in the game or something. And so you have like other 8 instances of you out there. Like one is in Mars, the other one is like in Saturn, the other one's like in other places and like spaceships and just fighting and doing different things, like more like intel missions or like labor and just having to work and stuff. But whatever happens to those bodies, like they can die off and they will have a clone, and you will be basically, the consciousness is stuck to that body, and no matter what happens, you just cannot get away. There is no way back because of the agreements and different things. So like they can use your bodies like for whatever they want, different missions, and you're like basically have to follow all the orders, and you know whatever those bodies experience, all the impact eventually leads to you. Like in one way or another, you might not get the full blast damage or whatever, but your body is able to pick it up. So knowing what's going on, like I started like sort of revoking any kind of agreements and getting those parts back to you to make sure like you cannot be used over there.
All right. Man, that 20 in back. I've already did my service. Where's my fucking pension?
Yeah. That's right, motherfuckers. Pay up. That. Mm-hmm. That. Yeah, that. Mm-hmm, that. Good time. Mm-hmm. Big time. What was that? Mm-hmm.
Seeing like there's like millions of people used in the same way, like just they have their own clones out there, and I'm like right now talking to like sort of like the head of the group, I guess, is like sort of has that hat and sort of like brownish hair, one eye because the other one's kind of fucked up. There's a scar on lips right here, like sort of basically just saying like everyone has to serve, and since they all agree they're all okay with it, but doesn't look like it, like okay with serving and protecting humanity and different things, and
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just gonna break the agreements and like sort of get done.
Okay. Yeah. That. Mm-hmm. That. Mm-hmm. That. Mm-hmm. That.
Okay, so yeah, I broke all the agreements and connections, and sort of all those bodies that were used sort of like just disappeared, and now like the part of the consciousness are back in your bodies and the different people bodies like that belong to the other beings, and
Wow.
yeah, it seems like the big thing was like to use humanity, because like right now even like humanity is joining forces with reptilians to fight the AI, because they want like to connect every single organic being to the machines, and like these guys like nah, we want to have our own control, like so
Yeah.
it's like just different factors and all, but yeah, weird stuff.
Yeah. Alrighty.
This session has given the most visceral changes that I felt out of all of them so far.
Really?
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Good.
I keep thinking like I'm like, these spots are so much more corrected after my other sessions, but this one was like a really big deal.
Great. Good deal.
Yeah. Before I got off with you, I wanted to throw something out there, especially we're already kind of on the topic of the whole space marine stuff. I just noticed an interesting parallel to this place as well as the whole arachnid planet that I was mining at. Was it just a couple years ago? My girlfriend and I moved into this house on Silver Mine Road. We are right next to a abandoned silver mine because there's a big silver mine park right here. And I found crystals just out there. Like I just picked this one up, like just walking out through the park there. And I have never had such a spider problem where I live. I've never seen more spiders than I have since we moved into this place.
Wow.
To where I was waking up with them in my hair. Like I would go to the bathroom, like after I get up in the morning and I see a spider come down out of my hair.
Oh, shit.
And you can see we've got a drop ceiling in this house for some reason.
Yeah.
Which means it's easy access in here. Yeah, so I just thought that was pretty interesting because I've like had a spider problem for a while.
Yeah, you've been having a spider problem for a long time now. You have to work on that.
Well, I call the pest guy as often as possible.
Oh man, yeah, interesting parallels, huh?
Yeah.
The mines there, the spiders are here. Just to make it like feel warm and fuzzy, just like the good old days.
Right.
Oh shit.
You get away from it, I guess.
Well, that's great awareness to be able to connect that. Yeah.
I've actually kind of been wanting to explore that mine, but I'm not the kind of person who's gonna. The main entrance is like welded off and everything. You can't get in. And there's ways to get in from the top. Every time I've gone back there, the spiders back in the woods are just as bad as they are right here by the house. And I keep thinking about, like, I'm going to go down that giant cave and get wrapped up by a big-ass fucking spider.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like the Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not doing that without somebody going with me. I'm, like, fairly adventurous, but I'm by myself, and I ain't got nobody that's brave enough to go down in a hole like that.
Yeah, I know what you mean, man.
Yeah.
Well, hey, thank you. Thank you for,
Thank you.
For doing this with us. Yeah.
I'm going to send you guys some money as soon as I work out how to get access to my money. Because I'm making money still. I didn't actually lose my job.
Oh, good.
I'm not sure if I mentioned that in an email afterwards, but I wrote my boss like a big page and gave it to him, and he actually appreciated it, made some changes, and then put me on just Fridays and Saturdays, which I'm making a little bit better money on too. So,
good.
doing what I can.
All right.
No worries.
I guess I'm not there.
Well, we always like working with you. And I guess we better get going, huh? We got some stuff to do.
Well, yeah, again, like, it'll be interesting to hear about the changes and what happens in the upcoming days, so, keep us posted.
Will do. Thank you.
Okay.
Talk to you later.
Okay.